Today we are going to take the work we've done in the last 3 days with factoring and apply it to quadratics to be able to graph and be able to actually graph accurately. So the first thing we need to talk about today is called the zero product property, because this is the basis for being able to find what we call roots, which we'll talk about in a second. The zero product property is the product that states that if we have two polynomials that are set equal to 0 and they're multiplied together, as in the case of when we have factored form, then one of those polynomials must be equal to 0. Therefore, if either one of them is 0 or our x-intercepts, then therefore we will have solutions. So simply put, if a times b equals 0, then that means that either a equals 0 or b equals 0. And likewise, if x minus a times x minus b equals 0, then either x minus a will equal 0 or x minus b will equal 0. Now a root is what we're going to find today. Those are the zeros of the function, those x-intercepts. So looking at finding the roots of a function, for instance, we have here g of x is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 3. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the function equal to 0, which means we're actually going to replace that g of x with 0. So we have here 0 equals x squared plus 2x minus 3. So then our second step is going to be to factor that equation. When I look at x squared plus 2x minus 3, it's a trinomial, and we have that our coefficient a value is 1. So we're going to do a t-table. We need something that two numbers that multiply to -3 and add to 2. So when I look at this, I know 3 is prime. I know if we're multiplying to a -3, our two numbers have to be opposite signs, and to add to a positive 2, the bigger number has to be positive. And because 3 is prime, the only way we can do this would be 3 times -1. And 3 plus -1 does in fact work because it adds to 2, which means that we have 0 equals our two binomials. And I know that the only way to multiply to get x squared is x times x. And then we have a positive 3 and a -1. So now my polynomial is factored. Our next step, and our final step, is going to set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x. What this means is that from our factored form, that either x plus 3 equals 0, or x minus 1 equals 0. So when we solve, we would subtract 3 from both sides, which would result in x equals -3. And here we would add 1 to both sides, which would give us x equals 1. So that means that our roots are going to be -3, 0, and 1, 0. In the next video, we'll take a look at being able to do some more work with the stuff we did in 5.2 as well as graphing.